Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. Got a very exciting one here today. We're taking a look at Bisu, one of the world's best Protosses, still playing fantastically. Did make it into ASL once again, to absolutely no one's surprise. Going up against Mihu, one of my personal favorite Terrans to watch. Mihu plays completely differently from every other Terran. If you take Mihu as being the worst Terran pro, let's put him at the bottom of the stack, right? Just to be like, okay, but let's call Mihu the cutoff for a pro. And you might be like, well, he doesn't make ASL, he's not a pro. China has a pro scene. Mihu makes more money playing StarCraft in tournaments than almost every single Korean player. Like, he actually makes a full-time living playing StarCraft. Anyways, yeah, if you put Mihu like as a low-tier pro, there is no one above him that plays like him. And in fact, I would say, like, you know, even if you go below him into like real amateur range, if you're just like, okay, let's just talk about S-rank Terrans, I've not seen anyone that really plays like him. And I love watching that because, you know, I feel like that's one of the great ways to learn about things. It's like, okay, how does Mihu win with this completely different skill set, with these completely different build orders? Well, I'll point those out as they come up. You never know exactly what you're going to see. Well, I feel like I do know because I've seen so many Mihu games. But yeah, we'll see how he can fare against Bisu. All right, so Bisu not really scouting as of yet. Not sure if he knows that he's against Mihu. Mihu actually gets pretty good ping to Korea. You know, the very best Chinese players use like, what is it called? Like, VPNs or whatever to get around the firewall and get very good ping, because obviously China is like right near Korea, so that's kind of good for them. They get very, very good practice because of that. And yeah, well, I guess we'll just see how this goes, because Mihu just scouting to the top. We'll see if he box scouts or end scouts here. Bisu just absolutely not scouting. It looks like he's just optimizing for a very quick Nexus. Yeah, queuing up some extra probes. He'll probably just go Dragoon Nexus is my guess, but I'm not 100% sure on that. We'll see if he gets range or not. And kind of an interesting SimCity here from Mihu. He does play very different SimCities than most players. But yeah, his factory on the way. Single Marine out in the front. Doing the end scout here, going through the center. Of course, his factory expansion looking fine. Does range start? No? Okay. So it is just going to be that very optimized quick Nexus, probably into range, but it could be Robo. I think you want to be very careful if you try to go Robo before range here against Mihu. Just going rangeless expansion opens up the variety of pushes that Terran can do, or the variety of openers. Like when you scout this and it's like, okay, 310 and you get in and range is still not started, you don't have to make a bunker. You can attack Protoss. Yeah, so he's kind of putting these in a forward position. These are the only high ground strips that we have, or these double ramps at the very top, so you can actually stand your Marines in a line and they'll wreck a Dragoon. And okay, so look at this, right? Third depot. I have to say this must have been in response to seeing the speed of the Nexus and everything. So Mihu is probably going to do an FD build, like a fake double, right? He'll start siege tank and mines, very likely. More Marines are being made. Pulls these Marines back a little bit. Very good damage on Bisu's Dragoon. Okay, so there's the siege tank. Mines? It's rare to do this build without mines. Normally that's what gives you the staying power. Okay, there's the mines. And the command center. Okay, so he is doing an FD build. This is a very old strategy. It is not popular anymore. I've seen it in pro games, like from pro level players. I've seen FD Terran in the last year twice, maybe 3 times. And that's hundreds and hundreds of games that I've seen, right? Like, I mean, this is what I do. So it's not that popular. It's not that strong, right? It's actually much stronger if it's laggy, just to put that out there. Like for instance, Terror does it sometimes, and it has decent effect when he does it. The Chinese Terrans can, if they're lagging a bit, it actually becomes more strong. It's because the Dragoons can kind of just out-micro it, and then your command center's super late, right? Like, look at this. Right now, there's a 4-probe advantage. Now, Bisu makes a shield battery, but this traps him in his base, kind of. Oh, yeah, you have to get that mine. You can't let that mine go up. That was too close. And Mihu immediately unpowers the shield battery. So already very good. He's sitting back at his mines. Very calm, cool, and collected here with this push so far. Observatory is on the way. Second pylon finishes up, so he does get that shield battery active to heal up his Dragoons. Looking back at Mihu's base, he has at command center up, and he is going siege mode now. If siege mode finishes while he's out here, this could become very, very, very cost efficient. Honestly, Bisu's going to want this to die because he's going to have an observer here shortly, and he's going to be up at 7 goons, which is not like you really want 8 goons there. He might try to bring like a couple probes up with this, but like he's going to have to basically clear the mines and then micro really hard to break this. But if he can break this without destroying his economy, then like Mihu's build becomes a lot weaker. Siege mode almost done, but not quite. Some good poking and prodding. Here comes the observer. Okay, he comes up immediately. The Marines have to be pulled forward immediately here as well. But look at that. Bisu doing a really good job. And so now what you're seeing, this is why FD Terran is not that good. He didn't actually get damage done, right? He killed a pylon, he killed a shield battery. He's setting up. Ooh, that's a nice little retreat setup right there. But that doesn't really affect Bisu. Okay, so let's take a look at the state of this game after the FD Terran opener, right? Bisu immediately starts a 3rd Nexus, perfect call. And he is up 6 workers. Okay? If you just make your command center immediately, you'll be within about 2 workers of Protoss. Okay? Here, he's down 6. So, like, you have to look at the overall value that was gained and say, okay, I don't think that was very good. Now, Mihu plays very differently from everyone else. So, he'll know a position like this pretty darn well. So, he might, like, you know, sometimes this is like, if you play an off style, you're so used to the position that people will play a little bit wrong against you, and you'll know what to do against that. So we might run into a situation like this. But Bisu, utilizing that high ground, picks off 1 tank and runs away. Perfectly played. His observer's scouting what's going on. He sees that this is spinning, so he knows that Vulture speed is almost done, so he is going to want to stay in kind of a defensive stance over here and over here. And in fact, running back, observer watching this army. It's only 2 factories, so he just doesn't have to be scared. 2 gates, 2 more gates coming, and that Reaver tech. Yeah, okay, like, and this is why I like to watch Mihu, because I think Mihu will still make a game of this somehow. But just looking at the position, the fact that Mihu is 6 workers behind, he's on 2 factory this whole time, having to build anti-air, and he's right about that because the Reaver tech is here. And it's like, okay, he's going to try to make something happen. And in fact, this is a very good Vulture run by. He's within 3 workers now, right? So net's like 3 workers there, but there are 3 nexuses. So Bisu is going to be able to climb up that worker ladder a little bit still. But this looks much more reasonable than it looked before, right? Like 39 against 33 is pretty bad. 51 against 48. You can't complain as Terran, right? I said if he had made the command center right away, he'll be like within about 2. He's within like 3 to 4 right now. Well, I guess it's running away because of the 3rd Nexus timing. But yeah, very cool. Okay, so right now what we see is he already has the missile turrets up. Okay, I'm sorry. I was about to say that I'm about to get I'm getting some chills here, and I am, but you guys make fun of me for it. But really what I'm looking at, okay? So he did the FD. It didn't really do anything. In fact, I would argue that he was behind. He just kind of plays and holds off what Bisu's trying to do, gets into his Vulture speed, kind of evens it up, and off of the 2 factory, or, well, I guess he had started a 3rd technically, but he gets a very fast 3rd command center. This is something that we've seen from both Speed and Flash lately, where it's like 2 factories, you kind of have some tanks, you kind of have some vultures, and you make that 3rd. But one of the things that happened here is he slowed the Reaver by putting so much pressure onto Bisu that Bisu had to go observer, he had to go 2 gate to break out of this. So the Reaver was slower, which means that he could add his turrets a little bit later. And when you look at this as a whole, it's very, very interesting because this really quick third base play has been getting dismantled by speed shuttle Reaver plays. But here, Mihu kind of is ready for this. Not completely, but kind of. And you can see, like, there's a mine here. Yep. Really well done. Really well done. But, Bisu runs over and is going to deal damage with this regardless. You can see he's trying to kill these turrets, specifically targeting those down so he can get out of here. Oh, my God. If he gets that +1, that's insane. Oh, my God. I don't think he can do it. I think he just barely can't. It was one scarab from dying, but if you land those, you're going to lose them. Okay, so runs out with that. Does supply block Mihu. So definitely Bisu is ahead. But again, Mihu has this kind of very interesting thing that he's done this game. And while Bisu's ahead, and he's ahead a fair amount, and he's up like 8 workers right now. And he's taking a 5th base. The 5th base is always that crucial moment where Terran really has to decide what they're going to do. So, like, yeah, again, at the end of the day, like, this more standard play from Bisu here was a bit better. But what Mihu has done has value to learn from, I think, right? The fact that he pressured that hard, slowing... Like, if he had a little bit better defense in here against the Reavers, didn't lose all these depots and stuff, this position would be much more even. As is, he doesn't have enough factories to launch any sort of attack, so he has to make another command center. Which Mihu doesn't do as often. Like, he's generally a slower 4th base than most Terrans. He likes to play 3 base for a long time. Scans going down, trying to figure out what's going on. More factories being added. Obviously, we see a starport here, so he's going to get into a science facility to continue those upgrades forward. Good setup. Can't complain about the setup. Bisu has to be feeling really good with this pylon there. Like, he knows that Mihu's just sitting on 3 bases macroing. Double missile turret here. We have the 3 speed shuttles just full of zealots. Honestly, I think that right now, the right play for Bisu, yeah, get Psystorm that we see he's doing. Make a big arc, make a lot of gateways. Because right now, it really looks like Mihu's going to attack. If you start attacking to Mihu, this is generally how he comes back into bad positions. Is Protoss will start attacking him and wasting their army on a very entrenched position. Because as it is right now, the way Mihu's playing, he's going to have 1 strong attack and that's it. And all you have to do is grind that attack down. So attacking into this position, again, would probably be the wrong call. Bisu wants to do it. Let's see if it works. You never know. Sometimes it's going to work. All right, bombing out with these zealots. He's going to have to target these siege tanks. Okay, decent size storms, decent size storms. And it looks like Bisu has enough to break through the position. This will probably actually just be game then. Bisu's taking a 6th base up here. Yeah, that's game. There's no coming back from here. Okay, so, I mean, the attack ends up being good, but like I said, right, like, what I said there wasn't a lie either. It can be good to try to bully your way in the instant you get maxed, which is what Bisu did there. Because your army will not scale, right? Like, it's not getting better. So sometimes to just attack and trade out what you can is a very good move. Even if it's like, okay, he's just gearing up for 1 attack. Because if Bisu can do that trade, even if he loses this army completely after killing all the tanks here, he's actually completely fine because he's got so much production, right? So, yeah. Kind of an interesting attack there, but I got to tell you, it is enjoyable, I think, to watch Mihu and to see these different takes on the game. But you can see that there is some weakness in it. Like, he does not play meta, and there's a reason meta is meta. Okay. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this game, even though it turned out to be a little bit one-sided after the opening. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.